Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma on Monday raised fresh questions over Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi's past visit to Pakistan, citing alleged visa restrictions and travel beyond permitted cities. The escalation comes amid an ongoing controversy over alleged foreign links involving Gogoi's wife, now widening into questions over how and where Gogoi travelled inside Pakistan. The case revolves around allegations flagged by the Assam government that the Gaurav Gogoi and his wife had links with Pakistani individuals and organizations. A special investigation team was constituted to probe the matter. After the SIT submitted its report, the Assam cabinet decided the issue was sensitive enough to be handed over to a central agency. The Chief Minister says the findings raise national security concerns, while the Congress has dismissed the probe as politically motivated.
Gaurav Gogoi's wife worked initially in Pakistan in a particular organization. After marriage, she joined in India, but she was continued to be managed by the Pakistani authority, and she used to get salary from Pakistan through a pass-through mechanism.
My wife worked in an international program which was operating in several countries across the world, including South America, Africa, and Asia. And in Asia, they were both Indian and Pakistani NGOs.
Monday's escalation centers on Gogoi's Pakistan visit. In a tweet, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma questioned how Gogoi visited Takshashila, located in Rawalpindi district, despite his Pakistan visa allegedly permitting travel only to Lahore, Karachi and Islamabad. Sarma asked who facilitated the visit, pointing out that Rawalpindi is also home to the Pakistan Army's general headquarters.
Sitting in India, taking salary from an enemy country, and submitting periodic report on the political development in India, these are matters of great concern. Simultaneously, she visited 9 times to Pakistan from India, as well as she took Mr. Gaurav Gogoi to Pakistan.
The Chief Minister is sinking in his own web of lies. To hide one lie, he has to come up with 100 lies. I have said that I have visited Taxila. I have not said that I visited Rawalpindi. And he has also not shown any evidence that I visited Rawalpindi. I have said, as per my passport details, I have been to, in early 2014, I have been to Lahore and Islamabad, and from Islamabad it's a day visit to Taxila.
The fresh claim adds to a series of allegations made by Sarma. He alleges that a SIT probe has uncovered deep links between Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi, his wife Elizabeth Kolban Gogoi, and Pakistani climate finance expert Ali Taqir Sheikh, claiming his wife worked in Pakistan between 2011 and 2012 and developed close associations there. Sarma cited photographs of Gogoi at the Pakistan High Commission and framed the matter as a national security concern, while also publicly referring to the foreign citizenship and overseas residence details of Gogoi's children, arguing their relevance to the case. Assam cabinet has decided to transfer the matter to the central agency for further investigation. Gaurav Gogoi has hit back sharply, accusing the Chief Minister of politicizing national security. He questioned why the SIT report was kept under wrap for 6 months, claiming it failed to substantiate the allegations. Gogoi alleged that the renewed attacks are driven by political anxiety and aimed at diverting attention from land-related allegations involving the Chief Minister's family. The Assam Congress president also objected strongly to his family, including his minor children, being dragged into what he called a flop political drama.
Gaurav Gogoi surrendered the Indian passport of both of his children and facilitated getting British passport. His wife already has a British passport.
Yesterday in his press conference, he revealed private information of my minor children, including their photos and their passport details, all of which are also illegal. So this is the Chief Minister who only knows how to conduct illegal activities, and therefore he is unfit to occupy the chair of the Chief Minister of Assam.
The confrontation has been building for months. Sarma has repeatedly alleged foreign ISI links connections, while Gogoi has dismissed the charge as lies, rumours and smear campaign. Now on this issue, I am joined by Ratna Singh, State Vice President, Bharatiya Janata Party, Assam. Saral Patel, spokesperson, Congress Party, and KV Prasad, senior journalist. Thank you all of you for joining me. Let me straight away go to Ratna Singh. Madam, my question is very, very simple. Why hasn't this report been made public, SIT, if the charges are so grave?
Namaskar. The entire report yesterday was presented before, the press conference, before the press, and it was there. And it has been moved to the MHA and the other agencies. Now, the thing is that the pertinent facts which was presented in the press conference, in the SIT report, the main things are concerned. The main concern is related to the national security. Now, the MP, Miss Honorable MP, we can say that Gaurav Gogoi, he had visited the Pakistan and his Mrs. Elizabeth Colborne before marriage and after marriage. Also, she had been taking the money salary from Pakistan, and that too in the account. While she was interrogated by or asked by SIT, then that time she did not disclose anything about the bank account. But gradually the bank account was discovered, and it was found that the money was being transferred from Pakistan, and it was 500 times more than the person head of the India. I think the Vandana Luthra or somebody, whatever is the name, 500 times more the salary was for the Elizabeth Colborne. So now the thing is that you have to see the facts that Mr. Gaurav Gogoi today, he had given the press conference and he wanted to give the answers. But in fact, the facts remains very clear and very, he needs to answer those things that the visas were meant for Karachi, Islamabad and Lahore. And now he says he had gone to Takshashila. Takshashila is in Rawalpindi, and that Rawalpindi is a base for the army headquarters of Pakistan. So that becomes a very serious fact. And the immigration policy of Pakistan says that wherever you have taken the visa, you can move into that particular place itself. And before going beyond that, no one allows, the immigration policy does not allow. And he has moved to Rawalpindi, that to a sensitive place of Pakistan, headquarter of the army. How it was possible without the help and, without the help and the motivation of great people of Pakistan? This suggests that Mr. Gaurav Gogoi, being the MP, being the, that time he was also staying in the residence of Chief Minister. And he says that he had gone to visit Pakistan to see the place where his wife has worked. Now, what is this? And for 10 days, you need time to visit the places for 10 days.
Okay.
10 days in a Bhikharistan. You don't need to see the market. You need not go for purchasing for 10 days in Pakistan. Whom he is fabricating and is thinking the people of India to be full, Assam to be full. One thing very important I want to tell you. One place we are having Jintu Gogoi, who had given his life, who has laid down his life because of this Pakistan. And in the other place, we are having the son of us, Honorable Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi, Mr. MP, deputy leader or the leader of the opposition, Gaurav Gogoi. He is another Ahom, and he is going and playing merry-making things with Pakistan. Jintu Gogoi laid down the life for Pakistan. In India, we have martyred Jintu Gogoi from Ahom community, and this is Gaurav Gogoi, and he is talking nonsense things about it. And this is the very important, pertinent thing, that while being Indian, as an MP of the parliament, he has visited and he has to clarify that after Lahore, Karachi and Islamabad, how did he move to Rawalpindi? Rawalpindi is the headquarters of
Point
the
taken. There'll be 3 rounds of this conversation. There are 3 rounds of this conversation. Let me take the opening comment from the spokesperson of the Congress Party, Saral Patel. Saral, to you.
Karthik, good evening to you, to my fellow panelists and to your viewers. So let me be absolutely clear at the outset. India is a constitutional democracy, not a WhatsApp republic. There is no iota of evidence against Sri Gaurav Gogoi. What Hemanta Biswa Sarma is doing is a classic BJP playbook: intimidate, defame and distract. While Assam faces massive unemployment, floods and rising prices, the CM is busy manufacturing lies. This is not a leadership. This is diversion born out of fear of facing public accountability from the people in the upcoming elections. What Hemanta Biswa Sarma ji said, 6 months back, that on 10 September, he would release a SIT report and it will be a bombshell. From September till February, there was nothing, no report, no findings, no evidence. Once Congress under the leadership of Sri Gaurav Gogoi started the yatra and started exposing how Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma is running an autocratic anti-people administration, he is strategically taking control of indigenous land rights in Assam. CM has transferred government land into his own name and his family members' name, encroaching up to 12,000 bighas of land across the Assam, how 8,000 schools have been closed in Assam, how his wife, the wife of Hemanta Biswa Sarma ji, has opened a luxurious private school spread across 60 bighas of land. Suddenly, Mr. CM came out in February 2026 with a C-grade Bollywood script filled with insinuation, exaggerations, and fictitious stories. Because when you don't have the facts, you manufacture narratives. And this is not an investigation, this is imagination, and it is clearest proof of his political bankruptcy, who has nothing to show on governance and fears public scrutiny going ahead in the elections.
Okay. Mr. Prasad is a senior journalist who has covered Parliament with me for more than 3 decades. Prasad, what's happening? I mean to say, I have not seen more bitterness between the principals in any other state but Assam.
Yeah, this rancor is increasing, and I think you will appreciate that Assam is very close to elections, right? In 4 months' time, the state will go to elections, and of course, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma is the incumbent chief minister, who is out to defend his government and his party and lead his way into the elections. And the challenger is Mr. Gogoi. It's very clear that political battle lines.
Is he really a challenger? Let me ask this question. Is he really a challenger?
Well, he's a challenger from the Congress party side. Whether the people of Assam think him or not, that the elections will tell us. So as such, he's officially the Assam Pradesh Congress Committee chief. So which means he is going to technically lead the party's campaign and whatnot, everything. So I mean, he's been doing for the last few since he has been named leader. Having said that, my question only is simple. I mean, a report of this nature for 2013, which comes out now a good 13 years later, or say 12 years to give the benefit of doubt in terms of number of years. And we have a government which here in the center, which is essentially now after the report of SIT has been sent to center. It begs the question, was the central agencies, were they not aware of such things? Because in the last 12 years, we have seen a lot of action being taken on many of these issues across the country, not Assam in particular. So it's highly something that intrigues, and somebody who has covered the Home Ministry and central police agencies for a while. This is something which is the first question that occurs to me. Would the central agencies not have seen something, had the red flags not been seen by them? So that's a question which I've yet to come across any concrete move, Kartiki.
Okay. So the question to Ratna Singh is, Madam, if the charges are so grave, why can't the action be taken by the Assam government itself? One needs to just go ahead and file the FIR. And second question is that there is one charge which you are the vice president of the state. There's an increasing acrobization of the entire narrative in which entire ills of one state is being attributed to the one community. Why is it happening, madam? 2 questions for you.
Second question is why it is attributed to one community.
And the first question is, why not file FIR against Gaurav Gogoi straight away?
Okay, now one thing I want to just clear. I just want to rebut what the spokesperson from Congress had told about unemployment. Like, I request him to come to Guwahati and Assam and look the standard of infrastructure development and everything. I being from Assam and a very neutral person, I take out a neutral perspective, and I can say that our Chief Minister, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, had promised 1 lakh of jobs, and now it is 1,65,000. And if you can see, Assam is one of the greatest and it is leading economy in the entire Northeast, and we are gradually coming up with very good things. Now the thing is that sitting outside and talking about Assam is difficult, because Assam, every now and then we used to hear grenade blast and kidnappings and bomb blast. Right now we are having a tenure of peace and very important infrastructural development. Peace and development is taking very nicely. Keeping apart these aspects which will keep on, we have narratives, we have data, we have facts to prove that Assam is developing in peace and infrastructural development and every aspect of empowerment, female empowerment, youth empowerment, women empowerment and everything. Right now you're asking about why this case has not been registered or FIR or whatever it is. The SIT entire report has been presented and moved to MHA, and everything will be taken care of in due process of time, and it is not a fake narrative we are developing. It is a matter of great concern, and it is not based in any community. It is for everyone. Right now I'm talking about as an Indian. What we can say right now, from many years we have seen that India and Pakistan is an enemy country. We are having lots of people, many army men, many people have lost their lives because of this Pakistan. And with this Pakistan, if you are merrymaking, we are going to that place, staying for 10 days, and you're not telling. You're telling that you've gone to market to see where your wife had done marketing. You went to see the park where wife had gone to visit the park. You're telling that you've gone to see the restaurant where my wife had eaten her dinner. Now this is not the answer which we We want it from a MP or a ruling deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha. We want a pertinent, we want a strong clarification that Karachi, Lahore and Islamabad was mentioned in your visa, but how did you go to Rawalpindi? Takshashila aaj yaad aa gaya aapko Takshashila? Before you never thought of going to Takshashila? Rawalpindi is a center of army base of Pakistan, and movement to that Rawalpindi declares that there was some sort of malified interest of against India, and you had gone and you had met there. Maybe some people had pressurized you, maybe some people blackmailed there. 10 days staying in Pakistan, I think it's a big deal because there is nothing in Pakistan to see, and you're telling all this story, you're telling fairy tales, you're telling to the people of Assam in India. No one is going to listen. One very important, another aspect is about your children. You're telling that you'll approach the juvenile courts and other things. But very important question also I'm asking, and I'm raising this point, that can the parents change the religion and citizenship of their minor children? If it is okay, fine. But religion, the children has to become minor. They have to give their consent. And before that, you're changing. You don't like your religion. You don't like your nationality. You don't like being an Indian until now. You have not changed the nationality of your wife, your children, 2 children. And you're telling you're going to become the chief minister of Assam. We are proud of the legacy of your father, Mr. Tarun Gogoi. But now what you are doing, you're maligning the name and legacy of your father also. You're demeaning everything. If you are really true Assamese, if you are truly Indian, then why are you asking not your wife to change her nationality from British to Indian? Prove yourself first. Prove that your wife is an Indian. Let her face the people of Assam. Why your children have not, have become the Indian citizens, taken the Indian citizenship?
Okay, Saral, to you.
You have not taken any stand, and you are telling that you are now going to become the chief minister. People are not going to vote.
Yes, okay, madam. Now, Saral, it's time for Saral. Madam, it's time for Saral. It's time for, madam, it's time for Saral. It's time for Saral.
Karthikeya, I think some of the question that, Miss spokesperson from the BJP is asking, she should pose to the Prime Minister of the country that why in 2015 he made an unannounced unscheduled stop to visit Nawaz Sharif in Raiwind in Lahore while he was coming back from Kabul. Why did he go there to have biryani and cake with Mr. Nawaz Sharif? Why did he after 1 year after that, why did he allow the ISI to visit our sensitive airbase in Pakistan, in Pathankot? Why did he allow ISI to visit Pathankot and investigate a terror attack there, which was perpetrated by the ISI?
So, madam, wait a minute, I'll come to you, madam, Ratnaji, I'll come to you, Ratnaji, I'll come to you. No, Ratnaji, you spoke, no, Ratnaji, you spoke, let him speak, I'll come to you. Saral.
They keep shouting this two names, Taqir Ali Sheikh and the organization called CDKN. What they deliberately hide is that same organization has worked with the course of BJP governments in India, including the Gujarat government.
Okay, I asked her a question that why don't you file a police case? Why isn't he filing a defamation case against Himanta Biswa Sarma? I asked her a question, FIR kijiye. Why isn't Gaurav filing a defamation case against Himanta Biswa Sarma?
The due process,
why shouldn't he taking him to the court?
Will be followed. Due process will be
I asked her a question.
And
Himanta Biswa Sarma should file an FIR immediately. Why don't you take him to the court?
The BJP is fantasizing that, if somebody has a foreign citizenship, it suddenly becomes a national security threat. Madam, if you keep interrupting me when you
Ratnaji, let him speak. I'll allow you to speak and no one will interrupt you.
Be silent and listen to the facts.
Okay, Saral, please.
Behavior that you are showing
okay,
in the
speak.
Also,
okay.
Listen to the opposition. I will not let you speak if you keep interrupting.
If you speak, Saral, if you speak with each other, no one is going to get whatever you are trying to say. So you have your 1 minute, please, and then I'll go to Ratna Singh.
BJP is fantasizing that if holding foreign citizenship is suddenly a national security threat, then why is it that BJP never questioned Vivek Doval, the son of Ajit Doval, who holds the foreign citizenship? Or why is it that BJP has not questioned India's external affairs minister, Mr. Jaishankar, who is married to a Japanese national? So this shows that BJP has a history of hypocrisy. And there is a deeper issue here. Deeper issue is that in 2024, Assam CM had based himself for weeks straight in the constituency of Gaurav Gogoi to defeat him. And despite the full might of the state machinery, he turned election into a prestige battle. And yet Gaurav Gogoi, despite all this, won.
Okay.
because this is the people of Assam trust Gaurav Gogoi. They trust the legacy of
Okay.
Tarun Gogoi, who made
Okay.
historic contribution to Assam. And people of Assam will give a befitting reply for dragging the
Okay.
name of his son and his grandchildren, who are not even minor, who are minors, and people, and especially the Ahomiyas,
Okay.
will give a befitting
Okay, okay,
reply to the
okay,
BJP in this
okay.
election.